The cost of IT in business can be staggering. From hardware and software expenses to services like internet and phone, you don't need to spend a fortune on IT to succeed. If your organization spends more than $500 monthly on any service, or you're considering signing a long-term contract, IT Enabled can help you manage your technology and minimize your costs. Contact us today to schedule a free consultation. IT Enabled, we're here to help.
Welcome back to the podcast. We appreciate you tuning in this week. So we're so excited to have Kristi, our city attorney with the teen court, and our case manager, Nancy, here as well. So if you'll just introduce yourselves, kind of tell us a little bit about who you are and your background and how you came to be where you are today.
Of course. We're so happy to be here to talk about teen court. My name is Kristi Skillern, and I have been the city attorney in Lufkin for 2 years. My background is in litigation with State Farm, insurance defense litigation. And I've been really excited to move to Lufkin and be here. And last year we started a teen court. And how that came about is kind of interesting. The city manager, Mr. Gee, came to me and said, Kristi, some of the city council members want a teen court. And I'm like, okay, I'm 100% in. Where I came from in Plano, they had a teen court. So I kind of was familiar a little bit with it. And then I went to a seminar that was literally entitled How to Start a Teen Court last June.
That works.
So it was. And I went to Georgetown and I found out how to do it. And I told my boss, hey, we have to hire a juvenile case manager. And so that was our first step. And Nancy is coming on board this year as our juvenile case manager, and she has hit the ground running. So we're about to do our kickoff this Friday. And it's just a wonderful program the city of Lufkin sponsors and also our community sponsors.
I love it. And so Nancy, tell us a little bit about you and what you do.
Okay, so my name is Nancy Zamarripa. I am the juvenile case manager, also the teen court coordinator for teen court. I have been with the city going on 7 years as a deputy court clerk with the municipal court. This is my first year for being the juvenile case manager. It is exciting, nerve-wracking, but I'm excited. We have a lot to offer our juveniles here in Angelina County, and looking forward to meeting a lot of businesses, also our juveniles here.
That's awesome.
Yes. You may see Nancy stop by your business, and if so, you better be prepared.
Oh, cool.
Because she is high energy, hit the ground running. We have been fortunate to get a debt cog grant for Nancy's position.
That's great.
That was renewed this year, so thank goodness. But we don't have a city budget for teen court.
Okay.
So we totally go off donations and sponsors, which we've been very fortunate. Our docket nights are once a month for teen court. And just to tell you a little bit about what it is.
Yes. Yeah. What is teen court?
It is a diversionary sentencing for teens that are charged with Class C misdemeanor tickets. So they can elect to go to teen court and have their case heard in front of a teen jury of their peers with a teen prosecutor and a teen defense attorney and a teen bailiff hearing the case. So what happens is they pay a $20 fee, they go to teen court, and they get assessed community service hours, but they also have to come back and serve on a teen court jury. So it's accountability. It helps for the teen defendants. If they complete their community service within 90 days, it's dismissed off their record. Oh, wow. So it helps them. It helps the teen volunteers. We have had an overwhelming response to call for volunteers this year. We have 50 teen volunteers that we rotate in on the docket nights in the various positions we have.
Is this from different schools?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
In
Incredible.
fact, our t-shirt has colors for every school in Angelina County on the back. It says teen court. So we're very proud of the fact that we have kids that are homeschooled.
Yes.
And the thing about our kids, we have about 12 returning from last year. Mm-hmm. And they're not the, most involved, cheerleader, football, although we do have some of those kids. But we have kids that aren't as involved in extracurriculars. And this is their extracurricular activity and homeschool kids. So we're very excited about the mix and the diversity of kids that we have.
Right. And a new outlet for kids who aren't necessarily involved. I think that's amazing.
That's right. We've had a lot of good support. I know Nancy has been to all the schools and talked to the principals and various teachers that have been supporting us. She likes to get out there in the community.
I do. It's more personable for me to meet more faces and have them know about teen court.
Yeah, and she also handles the juvenile dockets every month. We have actually a docket that is just for juvenile offenders. And so not only teen court, but she handles that juvenile docket. And she
Right.
kind of gets to know the kids on a more personal level and their families. And the same thing with the teen court defendants. Because to be honest, some of them have some problems, and they have problems with attendance, problems with maybe something they got caught with a vape or something, and they're struggling. And so that's the other outreach that the program does.
What are you said misdemeanors. So what are you seeing? Maybe some examples of that. What type of things are they going to teen court for?
We handle Class Cs, so they're all in municipal court, but they are mostly traffic violations.
Okay.
Some of them have been involved in serious car accidents because they ran a stop sign, or they've been speeding, or they don't have a driver's license and they ran a stop sign. So the problem is you've got multiple tickets with multiple fines. So their parents can't afford to pay for those tickets. And so if they go to teen court, it's a $20 fee, no fines. They do community service. They're out in the community working at the community gardens or the zoo or other places. And so then they complete their service. And a lot of times we actually have 3 cases every docket night.
Okay.
So 3 teen defendants, 3 cases. The prosecutors present it just like a real case. The officer comes, they testify, they show body worn camera of the stop.
It's a real trial.
It's
just
a
with
real
kids.
trial. So I'm teaching them to be real attorneys, the ones that participate as attorneys. And a lot of them want to do law enforcement, as you know, the bailiffs, they want to do law enforcement or something in the criminal justice field. So it's pretty exciting to see them. They're very cute.
I love
that.
that.
One of the girls I was talking to last year, I said, "Oh, I love your suit," because we have a dress code in teen court.
You should.
And she said, "Well, this jacket's my mom's." She goes, "And these pants are my mom's too."
That's awesome.
So it's just so
Love
cute
that.
because they're so invested in it.
I love
It's
it.
a way for them to get into the career.
Yeah.
So do the community service hours, does that vary based on the charges that were, whatever misdemeanor they were charged with? Did they get a varied amount of community service hours?
That's a good question. They actually do. We have a grid, so we can't just let them go hog wild and do, 70 hours of community service and the
Right.
kids are in school. There's no way they could do that. And
Right.
a lot of them are working. So it depends on the offense. Like if it's an accident with tickets, it's usually what we call class 4. And we have our training on Friday, which is an all-day training. We take them out of school. They get excused absences. And I go through the manual that I prepared that has the grid. So they know ahead of time and they know when they go back in the jury room what they can do. It's usually like most cases are usually within 20 and 30 hours of community service. And then they have to do between 2 and 4 times on a teen court jury. So what's funny is they'll do their ticket, right? And they get 20 hours community service. And so then I say, because I act as the teen court judge.
Got it. Okay.
And I say, Miss Smith, would you like to go ahead and serve some of your teen court jury service this evening? And they say yes. So then we put
so
them
immediately
on the next.
turn around and be the jury.
Yes,
Who wouldn't jump at
immediately.
that?
Yeah. And so they're like, yes, I do. I mean, I haven't had anyone say no
Right.
yet. And so then they're on the next jury. And of course, we have adults with them in the jury room. Miss Benita Bennett with the Lufkin Middle School is one of our big supporters. And so she sits in the jury room with them, make sure that they're considering the evidence and what's been presented and when they base their decision on so they don't go crazy. But I will tell you, they're tough.
Yeah.
Those teen court juries, aren't they? I mean, I've been surprised
Right.
at some of the amounts they have given certain kids. And I'm like, okay, but it is what it is.
So these teen literal juries of their peers are so they are actually sentencing. So they're deciding the number of, it's all community service, right? So nothing beyond that. But so they're just determining the number of hours that they get. And so they have parameters, right, within a certain frame, and then they have to, as a jury, decide what that is. Is that how it works?
Exactly. And so sometimes they give the maximum, and of course the attorneys are there. Prosecutor wants the most. The defense attorney brings up, that they're already working outside the house,
Sure.
that they do stuff for their siblings, that they're involved in extracurriculars.
Okay.
And the mitigating factors
Right,
for the community service. But
I love
it's
this.
interesting to see how they rule, because these kids have to complete it in 90 days.
Yeah.
And if they don't, they get sent back to the real judge with the real court.
Okay.
And
The real fine,
the real
the
fine,
real
yes.
community service.
And, it affects their driver's license,
Sure.
and they have tickets on their record,
car
and they're
insurance.
not going to get a deferred. And
Big insurance.
yeah, it's a lot. But thankfully, believe it or not, we only had one teen court defendant that did not complete their sentence last
That was my next question. I
Mhm.
was wondering what your stats were. Like,
Yeah.
if these kids really were like, you know what? I need to take advantage of this opportunity, because to me, it's an opportunity that you're being given at this point.
They were. And there were some that I was skeptical when I saw their reactions in court, and just, they didn't seem to be taking it serious. One girl was on her cell phone in the jury box that, you know, she had been sentenced. And I'm like, yeah. Which I would have called her out had I seen her, but the flag was between me and where she was sitting. So I didn't see her doing it, but they told me that later. But they completed it. And then, so, you know, one of the kids that was a teen defendant, he just had a baby, you know, with his girlfriend. And so he's like, I got to finish this. I've got to get, you know, my license, because he didn't have a license, and got to support my family. So, you know, I think overall, not only the teen defendants, but also the volunteers and the community support we've had from businesses has been a real outpouring.
Attorneys helping mentor.
Yes, because I can't train them all myself. I mean,
These are the teen prosecutors and defendants.
Yes.
So they're getting mentored by attorneys in the community.
Yes.
That's awesome.
And then they have to meet with their defendant on docket night and talk to them about the case. And okay, here's what we're going to ask you. So it's just like
It's
very
fascinating. This is, I mean, it's so great though.
Yes. And we have big plans. Nancy and I have plans to get a teen court team together and compete. There is, if we can find a sponsor, there's a teen court competition that Georgetown sponsors. I think it's going to actually be in Dallas in March. I would love to get a little team together and go out there and participate because they're intense. I mean, some of them, one time we had an officer testify who writes a lot of tickets, and one of my little teen court defense attorneys was asking him questions, and he got under his skin.
Oh, that's great.
And so afterwards, I'm like, Officer so-and-so, this kid's in 9th grade.
Yeah.
You let a 9th grader upset you on the witness stand. He goes, I know, you really did. You
Aw.
really did, Kristi. I'm sorry.
And he's back for more questions.
And he's back for more. In fact, my two, we gave awards. We had a teen court banquet in May.
Oh, that's great.
And thankfully, we had enough sponsors. And it was so cute because we gave them little, I called them Star Advocate Awards. And our two best prosecutor and defense attorneys were in 9th grade. So we're
That's awesome.
very excited about the future of it.
He's back.
I love that.
Yeah, they're both back, as a matter of fact.
That's amazing. To me, you're changing lives on different sides of the spectrum. You have a kid who maybe got in trouble, or they, like you said, with a vape, and they're learning, like, I can have a second chance. I can get through this. Yes. But then you're also showing kids, like, this could be your career. This could be your life. Yes. So I feel like those are some major benefits that you're working on all aspects of these kids. I think it's fascinating.
One of our teen court bailiffs last year, he joined the reserves immediately after high school.
Oh, that's great.
So he was a senior last year.
Wow.
And then another girl who actually got in a little bit of trouble was joining the Navy.
Wow.
I kind of gave her a second chance because we do have code of conduct, and I had kicked her out of the program, and she wrote me a letter, and she came to see me in my office, and I put on my attorney hat, and I was super harsh with her. And I said, look, you see that stack? Those are my letters of recommendation. Why should I give you one after you have done this and gotten into some trouble, you know? And so she was very contrite, and I let her back in, but I told her she'd have to sit there and watch. She did not have a role that night. And she came to the banquet, and she was just so happy and appreciative. So I hope there's going to be long-lasting benefits. I really do.
I love this.
And another thing that we have for them, and hopefully it'd be bigger and better for them, is a scholarship for our seniors.
I would love to give some scholarships.
With the help of the community, of businesses donating, sponsoring us.
And these are for the teen defendants and prosecutors, or for anyone involved in the program? How does that work? Or how would that
It's more for our volunteers.
for the volunteers? Okay.
Yes. Our defendants are welcome to sign up either the following year, but it's all for our teams here in Angelina County.
Yeah.
Awesome.
There's some kids who they don't even have a role that night, but they come and watch, you know, because it's fun, you know, to watch these cases. And sometimes their parents will come and watch them as well.
They're welcome to come.
We had a core group, honestly, last year we had 40. We had a core group of about 30 that came very regularly on the docket nights. Now, sometimes they can't because they are involved. Some are involved in other activities. But we had a good core group of kids, and I think 7 of them graduated. and we had about 12 that returned. So of the core group. So
and unfortunately, we had to stop our applications this year earlier than we did last year because of the volunteers that signed up during the summer.
Yeah, I guess the word is getting out, and this will probably help as well.
I hope so.
We're excited.
That's incredible. I can't, I have no words for this. This is such an important thing on so many levels for these kids. What can businesses do to help you and support you through all of this?
Since they're going to see Nancy, I'm going to let Nancy field that question.
They could call me. They can email me. My information is on City of Lufkin website. Lufkin Municipal Court is where I'm at usually, Monday through Friday, 8 to 5, if I'm not out looking for more sponsors or donors. So if I come looking, knocking on your door, you know who I am.
Yeah. And I have a theory that in order for kids to perform well, they need to eat. So we always provide them dinner.
Oh, that's great.
And even the teen defendants, I have them come and grab, we have been so fortunate to have Papa John's and Chick-fil-A.
I love that.
And various restaurant sponsors give us food.
Wow.
And so the officers eat and the kids eat. And then we start docket it starts at 6. And then they come at 5. And so they eat at 5 and then we start docket at 6. And it's once a month. We do have a City of Lufkin Teen Court page that's attached to the municipal court at cityoflufkin.com. So you go to municipal court and then teen court tab, and then it has all the information if you're a teen court defendant or even a volunteer for how to get in the program. We usually do open up a few spots at the end of the fall just because there's some attrition. Some kids get busy. We had one kid who actually went to college for football, like at midstream, and he was so sad that he had to miss teen court, but in the fall. So it does happen. So I hate to say no to any kid that wants to volunteer, to be honest.
I love it. It's such a beneficial program it's like getting to experience what the real world is, right? But with almost like some safety guideline, a safety net, right? So, I mean, this is a situation you can truly find yourself in, having to defend yourself in court for something that you did or a law that you broke. And this is what that system is. And it's kind of I don't want to say watered down, but with like bumper rails, when you're bowling, that kind of lets you see what that's like. And the benefit for these volunteers as well, that's huge to get to see this part of our legal system and how that works. And I remember being in 7th grade and we did a mock trial, and that set me, like, I was pre-law for the rest of, like, all through high school, and I ended up finding my calling in something else. But that was it. That set me on that path because I saw something that I was good at and that I liked and I enjoyed. So getting to expose these kids to that is phenomenal. I love that. So you talked about the website. So people who want to be involved in this, if you're a business, if you want to sponsor, where can they go to do that?
They can go to cityoflufkin.com.
Okay.
Under municipal court, like Kristi said, there is a tab for teen court, or they can call us at 936-633-0315, and they'll put me in touch.
I love it.
Yeah, we like I say, we've been fortunate to have some companies, some law firms and other companies sponsor us. But you know how it is with city business; it's hard to eke out the money that we need to support us to what we want to do, because we would love to expand the program even to having 2 dockets a month.
It's what it sounds like it's going to turn into.
Of course.
The rate you're
I'll
going.
be honest. So as city attorney, I attend all council meetings, which are twice a month. I attend all planning and zoning meetings, which are twice a month. And then teen court is once a month. We would love to go to twice a month.
Sure.
If we could get, especially, I think where our needs are right now are obviously community donors and sponsors, but also attorneys who want to help with mentorship. Because on docket night, I can't be with all of them because we have because you have 2 prosecutors, 2 defense lawyers for each case, and then they switch out. And so I can't be with them in every room when they're talking to their defendant, the 3 defendants. So last year was a little tough with me running around to all these kids. So we were fortunate to have the district attorney and a young man from the district attorney's office come.
Awesome.
Erica Neal has been helping me too with mentorship. But yes, we always need bright young attorneys to help with the program. So
I think this is amazing. I hope it continues to grow.
yes.
I really do. Just to know that you can make a difference and maybe even stop somebody from getting in more trouble. I always see that side of everything where you're making a difference in a kid's life that could have gone worse.
Yes. So
I love
you
this.
just never know. And it's one of those things that has long-term impact, you know?
Absolutely.
Yes.
I mean, you might play golf in high school and then you never play again. But this, and like you said, you remembered your experience. I have so many people that come up to me, like on the deck board, for example, come up to me and said, I did teen court, because the county used to have one years ago.
Right.
And then COVID happened and it disbanded. So because of some city council members, especially Gus Pina Bonner, who was a big proponent of it, we started, and luckily everything has gone so well that we have been able to get some sponsors, but we can always use more.
I love it.
Anything from monetary to gift cards for banquets,
Yes.
anything is welcomed.
Yeah, we actually put together some gift baskets for the kids and
Oh,
for the
cool.
seniors, a special gift for the seniors. So we're
Right.
planning on doing that again in May, because we run during the school year, but we do have teen defendants from the summer that elect to come, and then their cases are heard in the fall.
Got it.
So it's an ongoing program. So I can't believe summer went by so fast.
It's so fast. For the teens that want to volunteer, are there requirements, age? So obviously, you have to be a teenager, 13 to
Yes.
19, or how does that work?
And actually, to be a teen defendant is 13 to 19.
Okay,
But for the teen volunteers, we really need 9th through 12th graders.
got it, 9 through 12.
Just because you're mixing 12th graders in the mix on the jury and whatnot,
Sure.
and it's just better. We did have some people that were in junior high that we had to say no to, which
Aw.
I just hate. But next year,
Sure.
They are welcome to come out and sit and just participate, just
yeah, they could come
Yeah.
watch.
Okay.
Anyone can come watch on our docket nights,
Oh,
which
cool.
are posted on the website,
Okay.
and get involved. And, you never know. This is a program with long-term effects, and you may not, it's not metrics like other city projects are, like how many people went to the zoo this year,
Right.
with their budget. But I think lasting impacts are going to be years to come that we will see these kids. I told that girl from the Navy, I said, when you go through boot camp, I will be there. I will be there
that's
at your
awesome.
graduation.
I love that.
So she goes, it's a long way. And I go, it doesn't matter.
Oh, I love that.
I will be there. So
I love it. Well, thank y'all so much for your time and coming on and sharing. We don't have a lot of teenagers that listen to the podcast, but we have a lot of parents of teenagers. Right. Not yet. We have a lot of parents of teenagers who listen to the podcast. So if you have a teen that wants to be involved as a volunteer, definitely reach out and do that. And if you're a local business owner, which we are a large part of our listenership, and you want to support this program, please reach out and help them any way you can. Thank you so much. And
Thank you so much, guys.
yeah, thank y'all for listening to the podcast again this week. We appreciate your support, and we'll see you next time.